Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Oh boy, the priority questions have piled up. So we have at least 2 more episodes this week of nothing but priority. We're gonna get caught up, guys. So strap in. It's gonna be a heck of a ride. I'll tell you what.
Woo-ha!
These questions all come from our lovely patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members, and also the YouTube Super Chats from June 2023. So let's jump right on in, starting with this one from Frost Canine. The Sonic crew get a chance to watch documentaries based on their respective animals. What do you think of their species' behaviors? Are they intrigued or horrified? IDW and Archie can be included as well.
I don't think much could faze Sonic. I think most would be kind of bemused at, how hedgehogs actually are. I think Amy would be a little more mortified. I think she's a little more self-conscious of her own self-image. Tails would be rather impressed that, his species is notable for being adorable and smart. He's right on brand. Thank you very much. Let's see. Knuckles would be nodding along. Very reclusive. Don't interact with people too much. Just like him. You should leave him alone. Why are you putting the camera in their face?
Mm-hmm.
Needs to go out and protect his people. His people. He has a people now. They're not really people, Knuckles. Shut up. He's got a people.
He's got a people.
Tangle is wondering, why the lemurs aren't swinging by their tails. They're clearly up. They want to reach. They're reaching for something. Grab something with them. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mimic's taking notes. I could turn into one of those. Yeah, all right, that's kind of neat. Oh, look at the texture on that one. Yeah, great. All right. Totally ambush somebody there.
What about
Ruff is a little upset that his species isn't quite as aggressive as he thought. Tumble's sitting there just glaring. Look at all them tails. Stupid, fluffy, intact tails.
Trying to think of good ones. What about Jewel?
I don't know any fun facts about jewel beetles themselves, to be honest, so it's kind of hard to say.
She might be confused, why they're so small and why they look the way they do. What about Belle?
Well, what documentary is there for her? Is she watching Pinocchio?
Yes.
I don't think David Attenborough has covered Nordic trolls.
Oh.
Or if he has, I am desperately missing out on a special. Here in the wilds of Nishnodevlak, we're searching for the rare Nordic troll. Thought only to exist in folklore, they're actually quite gentle and loving creatures. Here comes one now. It's brandishing a tree. Oh, Lord, we must run.
What about Starline?
Starline's taking notes. I could stab somebody with my ankle. Ooh, I never knew I could do that. Electroreceptors in the bill, and that's why my face hurts when I look at the screen too long. If I had only known. So take it up biology.
Is Cream allowed to watch videos on rabbits?
On the Children's Network, sure.
Yeah.
Where it just talks about, proper pet care and grooming and how to build a hutch and whatnot.
Yes.
No Watership down for her.
No. No. Starline might be confused about the whole egg thing.
Oh, I don't know. I've always known I was a bad egg.
Oh, jeez. Rotor.
Rotor's inspired to take up sumo wrestling.
Rotor's he's not too different from an actual walrus.
He's a little more active.
He's nerd.
I think he Project Burning. He just lounge on the beach.
Yeah, he's a nerd though. So Whisper.
No, documentaries talking about how wolves form deep familial bonds and stick to a pack. relying on teamwork to survive.
Oh, no.
Anyone separated on their own is doomed to failure, and everyone's just kind of looking at her.
She gets up and walks out.
Whisper, how you doing behind that mask? Whisper. Wispy lady, how you doing? Hey.
No, she's gone. She walked out a while ago. She's like, she can't listen to this garbage. Lanolin's terrified because sheep shearing happens. Oh no.
She's eyeing her stylist. Don't get any ideas. What? Nothing.
What about SBO?
SB is insulted because real chameleons are clumsy and fragile and goofy looking.
And they don't know ninjutsu at all.
Exactly. Sure, they can strike from a distance, but with their tongue. He is a highly trained, incredibly disciplined ninja. You lose your invisibility when you sneeze. Shut up.
Oh, what does Vector think of crocodiles?
The sneezing thing is canon, actually.
Yeah, I knew that.
A Vector, he's watching all these gators just kind of chill out in the pool. No responsibilities, no bills, no annoying sidekicks, just hanging out.
Yeah, but then Crocodile Dundee shows up and oh no! And Charmy
likes little bee dances. Look at them dance. Tat, tat, tat. Dance, dance, dance. Tat, tat, tat. Dance, dance, dance. And then you change the channel before it gets to the segment with the Japanese hornets.
Yeah. Or he finds out they're quickly going extinct. Oh, boy. All right. I think that's enough for now. Let's get into this question here from Gideon W. All these points make it a logical line. Let me borrow Styx's conspiracy board. Number 1, Eggman is very unusually proportioned for a human when compared to other humans in the series. Number 2, Eggman is very unusually fit for what his proportions would suggest for a human. Number 3, Sega seems to be wanting to limit our exposure to humans for now, but we keep seeing Eggman. Number 4, Eggman's only known biological family members are a grandfather who specialized in sampling on and creating odd life forms, and someone claiming to be a descendant from the far, far future. Number 5, humans live on the continents, but Eggman seems to frequent them as rarely as Sonic and the other normies. Why the cover-up on Eggman's existence, proving that human-style normies exist? There could be more lurking among us where we least suspect. Is it really Burger Guy or really Burger the Guy? The last sentence is not a real question.
Number 1. Humans have been stylized differently across multiple games. If you look at the Unleashed styled humans done by Gorihuri, Eggman really isn't that different from any of them.
No.
I mean, look at Professor Pickle and tell me that looks like a normal human being. I defy you.
I'm sure we can find someone who looks like him.
And I honest to God met someone who looked like Eggman proportion-wise. He was a college recruiter, and he had the long, slender legs, the long arms with very large, pronounced hands, and the oddly rotund gut, but otherwise kind of broad-shouldered and skinny. It was eerie how dead on this guy was to the Eggman body. I'm like, it exists. It can exist. So number 1 is refuted. Number 2, can't help you there. Number 3, the series is focusing on what sells, and that's brightly colored superpowered animals fighting the mad scientist. That's not really obscuring from normal humans because normal humans are boring. That's just how it is. Number 4, Gerald looks like him and Eggman Nega looks like him. Don't really see how that makes any kind of difference or any kind of specifications. Also, the other family member we have seen is Maria, and she doesn't look weird or anything.
Nope.
Haha. Number 5. Eggman is going out to conquer the more technologically reserved areas, islands away from the mainland and from protection of gun. It's more strategically intelligent to go after the Mobian areas than it would be trying to storm an entire fortified continent. So, got you beating all 5. Eggman's just a normal human being on a normal world with talking animals.
And yet he keeps losing. If that were the smart idea, why does he keep losing?
Well, because when he eliminated the one, he conquered the whole planet.
Okay, you got me there.
Like, he beat Sonic, and then the world fell. So...
Well, if the entire world fell, then why doesn't he just go after the continents anyway?
Because then Sonic would stop him. So, you get rid of Sonic first, then everything is cake.
Okay. You'd think. I don't know, Ian. I think this whole franchise is a little contrived.
No.
Anyway, here's a question from Goombaria Broadcast. Back when you first created Team Hooligans for the Archie comics, were you aware of Fang, Bean, and Bark being planned as a team in Sonic Heroes in early development, or was this just a very cool coincidence?
Very cool coincidence. Found that out years after the fact, and it's like, oh, wow, what could have been,
It makes some sense, considering they were all in Sonic the Fighters, but...
I really would love to peek into that parallel timeline where the Hooligans were in Heroes and what the modern versions of them look like and what they have become today.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine a Sonic Heroes with Team Hooligan, but the Chaotix remained the obscure classic characters that didn't show up till Mania? Wow. What would have that been?
That would have been weird.
Maybe that's the universe where we got Sister Sonic as well.
I'm kind of glad we didn't, honestly. I prefer having pop. I kind of prefer having the actual real Popful male instead of some weird reskin job on it. But yeah, whatever. It's fine. Here's a question from Happy Times. Imagine that Worlds Unite was made more reasonable in terms of scope and cost, and the crossover was kept only between Sonic, Mega Man, X, and Boom. How differently would you have planned the second half of the story?
I don't know. I mean, I know it was a bit of a mess, but I feel like just the sheer audacity of that third act is what sells the premise.
You get a lot of fun moments in that, so, to be fair.
Yeah.
So.
I guess utilizing the X setting a bit more overall, because Boom, we really couldn't touch a lot of it. And we had already hit pretty much all the high notes you could with Sonic and Classic Mega Man. So I wouldn't want X to steal the show, but that would be the most fertile ground to really dig into. So maybe a little more of Sigma directly commanding Mavericks, maybe Deadly Six more integrated into the Maverick forces, instead of having the gigantic free-for-all fight of every robot, every Maverick boss ever. Make that more of the standing opposing force. And as much as I wanted to give the nod to the comic fans and keep it equal, maybe scale back on the Freedom Fighter and Light Robot Master representation, because that was a lot of folks and they barely had time to shine. Maybe restructure the whole thing, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Do smaller pocket stories that build up to a finale rather than one big continuous arc. I don't know.
Maybe,
a lot of ways we could have done it, but
maybe have some more battle books. Something else. I don't know. I'm trying to think here. What if you could use the full BumbleKast? How would that change things? Would you bring them over?
Oh, definitely more comedy moments, to be sure.
Well, yeah, but would you bring them over, or at least some of them?
If they were available, absolutely.
Okay.
I was disappointed we couldn't have the modern and BumbleKasts play off each other because the jokes write themselves.
I know. Super Boom Sonic would have been fun. Yeah. Oh well. Maybe someday there will be another crossover. Might not be with Mega Man, but who knows? Here's a question from Hearts13. If Whisper somehow encountered either version of the Wolfpack Nations, would she try to connect with her ancestral roots? In the scenario, she also meets Lupe, the wolf, whose motherly vibe and care somehow gets Whisper comfortable enough to talk about her past and what happened to her pack, the Diamond Cutters. How would Lupe react to how Whisper lost her pack and how one of her own betrayed them?
The thing with the Wolfpack was that it was an actual, pack. It was a family unit. It was a national people, and Whisper is not one of them. So and I really hesitate to hone in on kinship between species in Sonic, because species seems to largely be an afterthought outside of design.
Yeah.
They don't really identify as the animals. There is no racial or societal connotations, thankfully. It's just, that's the descriptor. Again, for the most part, there are exceptions and nuances to it, but now in general, Whisper, encountering the wolf pack and finding those who would be nurturing and welcoming to her is perfectly fine as an idea, and it'd be something that she'd want to protect. And Lupe, being a strong, comforting figure, might be able to make Whisper stop and listen and stand down and open up a bit, rather than gently coaxing and testing out boundaries. She would provide a structure and almost a commanding officer type feel.
Yeah, that
Whisper might need and gravitate towards. And then, Wolfpack has their own personal crazy guardian angel of the battlefield sniper badass on their side, so they're gonna be fine.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I like it. Here's one from Hip Kid Brick. Is Blaze's dimension a separate timeline / universe, or a different plane of reality / realm within the greater whole of Sonic's universe? I.e., how Asgard works within the Marvel universe, not existing as an alternate timeline / Earth, but a realm within the greater whole.
Yes, that is a good parallel.
Okay.
Now, with the MCU, it seems a little fuzzy. I can't tell whether Asgard is its own dimensional plane or if it's just somewhere in the greater cosmos. That seems fuzzy, but with Blaze's world, it is a different world in a different universe. Like, take 2 pie plates, draw a planet on each. There you go. The plates are the dimensions, the planets are the planets.
Okay. Well, Asgard is treated more like a planet, it seems like, in the MCU,
yeah,
while in the comics, it's more out there. But
I seem to remember in the earlier movies, they treated it more like a really separate place.
Yeah.
And then when they started getting more cosmic, it was treated more like a planet. So maybe that's not the best parallel.
Yeah, the planet
it is not.
The 9 realms are different planets, so.
Blaze's world is not an incarnation of Sonic's world.
Okay.
It is its own world on its own dimensional plane.
Okay. I'm being told Asgard is the flat Earth.
Well, it's rubble now.
Guess that's why the bridge was so flat. Here's this one from Ichigo Laser. The vampire surge that was brought up before made me think, what if you had a vampire surge turning others into vampires? The best way to fight a vampire is with a werewolf, or in this case, a werehog. The perfect chance to bring in Sonic as the werehog to kick some vampire butt. So how would you write a story about these 2 different beasts in action? What is the main dynamic you would try to play off of?
I think with this case, you just have to lean hardcore into like the Hugh Jackman Van Helsing. Just unapologetically camp, rule of cool, monster mash nonsense.
Well, it's Sonic. I mean, that's kind of what you should lean into regardless. But yes.
Camp for Sonic is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Take that dial, go from a 9 to an 11.
Dr. Starlinenstein. Oh,
Dr.
boy.
Starstein, where he is also the monster.
I like the part where Surge starts morbing all over those guys. All right, we got one here from Icy. In a bake-off, who would make the better dessert, Toriel or Vanilla the Rabbit?
Toriel knows how to make like 2 things.
Well, that we
Vanilla
saw.
is much more experienced.
That we saw. I mean, come on. But yeah, you're probably right, to be fair.
For one thing, Vanilla can keep her kid alive.
Oof. Oof. Boy, you want to talk about a big oof. That is a massive oof. Dang, dude. Holy crap. That's like, whoa.
Choosing the flowy option.
Oh. Oh, man. Oh. Oof. Big oof. Oof. Yikes. Yeah. Leave your anger comments below.
You still got one more before we take a break. Come on, power through.
Illegal Chow Fights has a question. Did people die in the bombing of Prison Island during SA2? And if so, does this make Rouge complicit in murder?
Well, I mean, technically we didn't see any personnel on Prison Island. So maybe it was fully automated. Maybe they pulled a perfect chaos and everyone evacuated the island before it blowed up. Like Eggman's whole radio transmission was unsecured, so they all evacuated. Maybe.
No one dies in Sonic.
It can't have been
Come
that
on.
blown up because they went right back to it in Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, I guess. No prisoners, no staff. Nobody's there. It's just a big empty building that they blew up. And so Eggman has never actually murdered anybody. Still!
Wait.
What's up?
Did the pilot that Rouge fought, was that mecha piloted?
Yeah, I'm being told yes, it was.
Well, maybe he used his ejector seat off camera.
A human is seen in the cockpit. Oof. Oof. Well, I mean, we know Rouge is complicit in murder. It's kind of her thing. I mean, not complicit in murder, has committed murder. I mean, like, she don't care. Just don't tell Sega. What Sega don't know won't hurt them. Maybe. Probably not. Sega's not
unnamed people on the island.
I mean, Sega's not a person, so yeah. Anyway, that's enough of this nonsense. Let's go ahead and take a quick break and then come back with more nonsense on the BumbleKast. For the record, I'm not saying your questions are nonsense.
No. We provide the nonsense. Pure, distilled, unadulterated nonsense.
And you're welcome for it. We are back, and we have a question from Jara. When it comes to Wave the Swallow and Xena the Zeddy, I get a strong Mean Girl vibe from the two of them. I was curious, do you see any similarities between the two of them? How would you say they differ from one another?
Oh, yeah. They definitely are. Big bad bitch energy.
Well, but Xena is willing to murder a child, so I think that would be a difference. Yeah. I don't think Wave would do that.
No. They're both nasty people, but Wave is the type to, like, steal your lunch out of the community fridge.
She has some respectable moral compass. Xena does not.
Like, cut your brakes knowing that you'll hit the stop sign at the end of the street rather than before you make it on the highway. Say a mean thing to your face. That's the kind of awful she is. Xena will light you on fire and laugh about it. Xena will push you down the stairs and then light you on fire. Xena's just evil.
Like,
super awful.
Xena's just a horrible person.
Like, she regifts you your puppy but doesn't put holes in the box. She's that kind of evil.
I'm being asked who is the most girl boss. Well, I mean, it's Rouge.
Yeah.
Between those two, it's Rouge. Yes. Here's one from JJ Slider. Why does the blue wisp not transform enemies into blue blocks like the blue wispin if the latter uses the former as a power?
Because turning robots into blocks of energy is a fun gameplay mechanic. Hitting people with that and turning organics into things that explode into energy, not so good. For an all ages book, a little gross. Also, Sega asked us not to, which
Yeah.
is weird because they're usually very precise on game mechanics being represented.
Yeah, but it's cool, though.
It's been a while, so I don't remember the exact notes, but I know there was a lot of back and forth on the blue block usage and how it was represented in game and what counted as, gameplay and what counted as we could do in universe. And I think it fluctuated a little bit, but I want to say it was kind of come down to it's a hammer. It should just act like a hammer. That just makes the most sense.
Yeah.
We couldn't turn organic enemies into blocks and kill them. That was off the table entirely.
What a shame. Missing out. What could have been? Probably wouldn't have been, but what could have been? We got a question from Levi C. Somehow Rough and Tumble trade places with Bebop and Rocksteady for a day. How did the skunks adjust in the 80s TMNT universe along with the mutant goons in the Sonic universe?
Rough and Tumble are right at home.
I was going to say, I feel like not much has changed.
Like, at most, they would be confused what city they were in, but then Shredder shows up and's like, what are you two goons doing out here? You work for me now. And they're like, okay.
Yeah.
And then, they get beat up by the turtles and suffer puns. They would transplant perfectly easily. Rocksteady and Bebop, I think they'd have a harder time because Eggman wouldn't be inclined to immediately hire them. He hires Mobians on occasion, but it's not like his standard operating procedure. So they'd kind of be left to their own devices to decide what they were doing, and then they would just cause mischief because that's what they do.
Yeah.
And one of the hero characters would intercede and kick the butts, probably with a quip.
Well, you could just say this is their switch with classic Sonic. So, they join the hooligans. There you go. Now we have a team of 5.
All right, you mooks, you work for me now.
Yeah, pretty much. There you go. Yeah, I like it.
Those two pair would transplant the easiest.
Very easy. Very simple. Not a difficult switch. Here's one from Major Bunny. Time for a chili cook-off. Who has the best tasting chili recipe out of Sonic, Shadow, Scourge, Surge, and Metal Sonic?
Sonic by a mile.
Metal Sonic is just a can. It's chili from a can.
Like, Metal Sonic's is technically well made, but it lacks a bit of pizzazz. It doesn't have the love you need to make a dish shine.
Yes, because it's from a can.
He just picks it up, pokes one metal finger into the lid.
Exactly.
Dumps it out.
It's a can opener. I mean, come on. He's a glorified can opener. So
Scourges and Surges are nasty. They're too acidic or they're too spicy. Like, they've put more focus on the bite than the actual enjoyment richness of the chili. Like, they've made food that spites you. It's no good.
I feel like Surges would just end up being literally on fire.
And Shadow, again, an expertly crafted chili dog, but it just lacks a little something. I mean, it tastes good. It tastes fine. Quality ingredients, and it certainly is a serviceable chili dog, but there's just something about it that doesn't have that wow factor. Whereas Sonic's, the minute you hit the aroma, it's like, yes, this is right. This is chili dog. Do you mean a chili dog? No. This is the concept, the ephemeral existence of chili dog.
Sonic knows where to get all the ingredients, the best ingredients. He's well traveled. Yes, I'm hungry now. Here's a question from Morless. We all know that Whisper has trouble feeling comfortable around other people after what happened to the Diamond Cutters. Sure, she and Tangle get along really well. Actually, they get along so well, I bet they make great roommates even. Anyway, back on topic. Which, if any, of the cast does Whisper feel the most comfortable being around aside from Tangle? And if nobody, who among the cast do you feel would have the most success forming a bond with her?
Right now, Sonic.
I was going to say, she seems okay with Sonic.
Yeah, she trusts him and she knows that he gets her. and keeps it real simple.
Yep.
So she's 100% cool with him. Everybody else, varying degrees of openness. Like, she's comfortable enough that she can let her guard down around Amy. She would trust Knuckles to a certain degree. Cream's not a threat. Cream needs to be protected at all costs. She trusts Tails well enough, but all of them are still kind of like 1 degree away of wholly letting her guard down. They're friends. She accepts their presence without, double checking them, but they aren't someone she can't drop every defense around them. But yeah, Tangle and Sonic are completely in the clear.
What about Silver? Guess she hasn't really met him so much, but
I think she trusts him enough, but she's wary of his naivete and his power.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he means well. She doesn't think ill of him there. It's just he can do a lot of damage, and he can be tricked into pointing himself in the wrong direction. So she needs to keep an eye on him.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Well, maybe she'll open up a little more in the future. Who knows? Here's one from Mixer17. Pretending that some of them would actually be able to have the patience for it and desire to play in this scenario. Looking at you in particular, Surge, get a hobby that's not Sonic-obsessed, 5Ed. Vicious mockery, best cantrip. Out of the IDW newcomers, hero and villain, who do you see playing what class in D&D? For Kit, when you say whatever Surge tells him to play as, and then also say what he'd probably like if he was told to choose what he thinks is fun or whatever. Could you also say what specifically Surge would tell him to play, even if it's obviously going to be a support class?
We've touched on this topic a lot, but you zeroed in on IDW newcomers, so
yeah.
I think Surge herself would want something very simple and straightforward, something that's very high powered. So again, I'm not super well versed in D&D classes and whatnot.
Barbarian,
but something that can, like barbarian, berserker, orc, just for that extra oomph. She just rolls a natural 1 and still kills something. She doesn't care. She's good. And she doesn't even have to role play. She is the embodiment of murder hobo. You walk into a tavern. I kill everybody in the room. No, you don't. You can't. Roll a natural 20. Damn it. All right. So you've leveled the entire village. There goes that quest line.
Good.
And in this case, when Kit says, what am I? She's like, I don't care. It's a stupid game for nerds. Just pick something. He would go full rulebook deep dive to decide what the best support class to her character would be. So here I am stumbling in the dark with D&D stuff. What would be a good support unit for your completely reckless berserker, break everything they touch barbarian type?
A cleric!
Yeah, all right.
Yes.
Cleric he is.
Yes. Very much a cleric. Yes.
Load up the super soaker with the healing magic.
Exactly. Yep. Whisper would be a rogue.
Yeah.
It's most obvious.
Tangle's a bard. That I know.
Yeah, but what would she be in the game?
She's a dual-wielding bard. One hand for one guitar and the tail for the other.
Yep. All right.
She can play her own duet, and she is like terrifyingly good at buffing.
Being asked if there's any warlocks. Be a good warlock out of the IDW cast.
What are the key traits of a warlock?
They have,
I'm assuming magic.
Yes, they have heavy, high damage magic, and they like to make pacts with spooky stuff. Pact with a demon or dark lord.
Clutch.
Okay, or mimic. Maybe
mimic might go rogue as well.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Who's the DM?
Starline.
I was gonna say it would probably have to be Starline if we're talking about someone who would be the most theatrical. Although Jewel could probably pull it off too, but Starline would be the most entertaining.
She would be a good DM. Starline, not so much.
Yeah.
You can't murder the town. I won't let you. Natural 20.
Mm-hmm.
Box fall, everybody dies. I'm out of here.
Oh, no!
See how you like it.
Oh, God. Oh, no, you've done it again. Oh. Trying to think what would Jewel be then? Maybe a wizard.
Paladin.
No, that might be... I think that might be Lanolin, because a paladin is like lawful good, so they're always like the stick in the mud. So, yeah, a wizard for Jewel. Trying to think who else is in there. Shoot.
What are some generally good support classes? Because Belle would want to help.
Yeah.
Like she'd want to like break out of her shell and do something big and impressive and whatnot, but then the minute she gets to the table, she's intimidated and doesn't want to get too much attention on her, so she completely rewrites her sheet.
Yeah. Maybe Druid. Or Forge Druid would be interesting. How to pull that off. Or an Artificer. There we go. Yeah, Artificer, where she can build stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like basically the D&D equivalent of a scientist. It's like Magitech sort of deal. Yeah. Artificers are awesome. Yeah, I think she'd work out for that. And, do we have anybody else? Rough and Tumble, I mean, they're just random
they wouldn't play D&D.
Random fighters.
They randomly walk by the window and just shout, "Nerds!" Throw a football into the middle of the game table on occasion.
I guess. Then they go home and play Warhammer. It's a man's game. Here's a question from Nondal. Is Club Rouge just a front for money laundering?
Are you with the feds? You have to tell me if you're with the feds.
You a cop?
I don't have to answer nothing. Talk to my lawyer. Talk to her lawyer. Talk to whoever you want. I ain't answering this one.
It's a good thing that we've reintroduced money into Sonic's world now. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a front for laundering nothing. Might be a front for laundering. And we got a question from North Salt. And as Starline's isekai adventures continue, he ends up in a little town in South Park, Colorado. How does he react to this new setting? Or more importantly, how does he see to the ultimate evil, Eric Cartman?
He's been through a lot. Perhaps it's time to settle down and recharge his batteries in this quiet little mountain town. And, the people are strange but unassuming, and they just kind of accept that he's there because various religious and mythological creatures visit on a fairly frequent basis, including talking holiday feces. Okay, sure, whatever. It's calm here. It's quiet here. It's fine, except for that one child who's very loud and obnoxious and quite opinionated. And, he's going to just deal with this. Oh, God, he's evil. Like, true evil. Not even the fun kind of evil. Just like evil. I'm going to have to watch how he steps around this one. Maybe he needs to start making a plan of attack just in case to protect himself. Maybe he'll consult one of his friends. You there, the one in the parka. And that's when the meteor comes down and kills them both. Oh my God, you killed Kenny and Starline, you bastards!
Convenient. I think it's been a while since Kenny's actually died.
Is that an old joke now?
Yes, it is, I believe. I don't think they really killed Kenny. Actually, I don't even know if Kenny's really part of the main cast, is he? He doesn't seem to be. It's more like, I think Butters is kind of like taking over the fourth character thing for the most part. I don't know. That's what it seems like to me, at least, from what I've seen, and that's mainly just the games. But so I haven't watched the show.
I haven't really seen it since like the Mysterion versus Cthulhu arc. I don't know how long ago that's been now.
Yeah, well, maybe Starline loses to Cthulhu. One last question. It's from Power Vidsful. I'm curious, are we going to explore the relationship between Sage and the Ancients, since she should be more connected to them, right?
Not really.
That'd be a spoiler.
She kind of like fast-tracked, manifested through the nature of their network, but she is not really connected to them. She doesn't share any of their ideals or outlooks or aspirations. She is her own entity with a fixation on pleasing her father, and that's about it. But she's not really ancient tech or affiliated with the Ancients. She doesn't feel any camaraderie with them. At least that's not how I wrote her. We'll see how things play out in the future.
I think some of that code might wear off on her, but I mean, because that's how code works, right?
Hey, it's ancient water aliens that have their souls encoded in some kind of nebulous digital dimension. Whatever, man.
The Ancients stole my source code.
What do you mean they run on C++?
That wasn't open source.
They would have defeated the end, except they were foiled by their own DRM.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Free and open source strikes again. All right. That's going to do it for this edition of the BumbleKast.
Thank you so much to our patrons from patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members for supporting the show and making all of this nonsense possible. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Eggman uses egg plus, sir. I'll have you know. Or maybe it's egg script. Egg basic. No, Java egg. Dang it. Egg basic. No, that's too basic for Eggman. Cobol. Egg assembly, yes. There you go. Eggsembly. Just like the original Sonic games. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff there. Oh. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org. Oh, where's Twilord?
He's talking to me in DMs, but I'm being lazy because I have my computer set.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm sitting here like, where is he? I don't see him saying anything. Okay, so
No. I'm being highly unprofessional.
Oh,
I just know he's listening. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
The cat has one hand occupied; the other one can't type that well. So
I thought maybe, like, I don't know, maybe Twilord was talking to you telepathically, and you can't. The only way you could respond was out loud.
No, Tenny's okay. He's settled at least. He's offering to remove the cat, but he's fine.
Aren't you, buddy? Okay.
Who's being a goofus? Who's a smush?
Remove him how? Remove him how? Like remove him over the side of the railing?
Wait.
Remove him for good.
Nah.
Okay.